fucking hat.
Damn, actually. Oh, shit.
The slap.
Sounds good.
The
The
slap,
slap.
Kenton.
The
Slap.
slap heard around the world, around the
Yeah,
internet
well, you
world.
know, or at least around zoo culture, or what, wherever he was when the perennial child did it, and I don't know, but what is your take on it, Kenton?
Okay, so just to give everyone a little bit of a background on what took place, there was a individual who was in Bradley Martyn's gym. If you don't know who Bradley Martyn is, then I mean you're living under a rock in the fitness world. You probably got to find another channel to
Right,
watch.
and you're watching the wrong two channels, so
That's right.
so yeah,
So there was some sort of an influencer of sorts. I don't know who it was or anything like that, but anyway, essentially the kid took Brad's hat, and Brad was obviously visibly annoyed, we will say, and he slapped him across the face quite forcefully, I'll say,
yeah,
to the
yeah.
to the point where this kid handed that hat back pretty quickly, I gotta say. You know,
Bradley
I mean,
got his favorite blue ball cap back, that's for sure.
man, I I gotta say, when I saw that, like when I saw the look on Brad's face when that slap happened, I was like, something bad's gonna happen here, but not really thinking that something bad was gonna happen.
Yeah.
But then when he slapped him, I was like, holy shit! Like, man, he gave him a decent slap. Like, it wasn't he didn't crank back on him or anything, but man, he like Buddy definitely felt it.
No, and it was enough of a slap where, I mean, if you're a normal person, I think honestly it sends you back a little bit.
This is the latest internet culture of pranking your favorite fitness influencers. And I think that it's starting to go maybe a little bit far in my estimation. I think that it definitely warrants a second look when it comes to the fact that this did get, physical. You see them all the time, of course. Like there was a guy that bumped into Sam Sulik there, and these guys, to their credit, they set it up, they make it happen, and they get the shot that they want, and they get the views. Respect. But like you're obviously pissing these guys off, like they're
Yeah.
just trying to do their job at the end of the day. I mean, Brad has a huge following, he has a job to do. Sam was just there meeting fans, and I mean, Sam's fucking like just let them do what they're doing. They're trying to do their job. They don't need to be coming and have your hat taken off your head or knocked over by some guy. Especially given the fact that these guys are obviously going to get pissed off about this too. I mean, I would.
I'm thinking you got to grow up sometime
At some point,
at
both
some
both
point.
of them. Both
Oh,
both of them
both
do.
of them for sure, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
so what? I haven't seen much in the way of repercussions though, Kenson. I mean, Bradley hasn't even apologized as far as I have seen.
No, and he won't.
No, no,
Brad
I mean
has
it's not
always
in his
been
genetic makeup.
no, he's always been pretty unapologetic. Um, he's built an entire world around him where he can be unapologetic, you know? And especially given the fact that he really, really didn't like that this took place, he is not going to apologize.
Yeah,
He's not going to. But you know what? Even Rich Piana, he apologized to Jason Genova after he slapped. He
yes,
gave him a pretty good slap.
yeah,
He did give him
yeah.
a pretty good slap, mind you. But I
He,
mean, it was
yeah.
out of respect. I feel more. Well, I mean, I Rich probably did it to save some face, but we won't speak of him. God rest his soul. When it comes to Brad here, uh, man, like I said, he's built a world around him where he can be unapologetic, and when something comes into his world that he doesn't like, whether it be someone taking his hat off his head or somebody showing up at his gym that he doesn't like, God knows
Yeah.
what it is, you're out, man. You're out. Like Brad's not putting up with it.
He's a jokester himself. He does silly things. So for him to kind of not roll with it though, you know, rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I mean, you know, because there was a bit of a buildup to this prior to the actual slap. I've seen some of the footage. They were bantering back and forth before the slap and the hat gate. So, um, I was still surprised that he wouldn't just kind of, he knows the camera's rolling. He knows this is going to be out there. So, maybe conduct yourself with a little decorum and like a little thoughtfulness in your surroundings and kind of the responsibility that you have as a fitness influencer. Albeit a not so serious one, but you're still there kind of being of an impression on the younger viewer.
He gave this kid exactly what he wanted too. This is exactly what the kid wanted. And I bet you he didn't think he was going to get it.
Yeah.
He triggered Bradley Martyn and got that on camera. An instant trigger. Brad probably could have handled it better, but man, obviously he got triggered real hard. And when you know how it is when it comes to fitness influencers or anybody that you think is, but any influencer that feels like one is below them, they won't even give them the time of day to name them. In
No,
fact,
no.
Nick Strength and Power, he did a quick little thing on the slap as well, and he said, "I'm not even going to name the kid because I don't want to give him any credit." Yeah, okay, fine, but at the end of the day, this kid did set out to do something, and Brad gave it to him, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think Brad's probably a little bit upset at himself that he just gave into this kid.
and you know what? I did not think about that angle of it. And you might be onto something, you know. Like honestly, don't trust anything these days, guys. on social media, YouTube, or whatever you're watching, just in general. It's probably a good rule of thumb. But you're probably right though, man. Like, because this kid is going to milk this for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100% he is. You see it all the time, Name drops happen from social media influencer to influencer to influencer. They'll all play off each other when they can,
Yeah,
when they can. You see it all the time. And this kid got exactly what he wanted. I mean, he
yeah.
probably think about it like this. This kid made money off that slap. As that slap was coming across his face, all he was probably hearing was cha-ching.
Cha-ching. And if you make your bread and butter by doing the things that he does, which is, you know, I don't even know the cat. Like I haven't heard of him. But I know he's a prankster, right? And that could lead to a bigger conversation, in terms of, and you touched on it a little bit, the length that these pranksters and these YouTubers will go to get the views and the clicks. And I think it's gone too far. And these guys have they're kind of feeling the repercussions of it now, because people
Yeah.
aren't kind of like Bradley Martyn, right? I mean, people aren't backing down from it, and they're going to lean into it. I just wish that I could see a little bit more, like I said, decorum from the people in our industry. We already get a bad rap. So doing things like this don't help our case, you know?
No, no, you're right. It doesn't. It doesn't. There should be an amount of hmm. There should be an amount of respect within the industry. And I think that there is a healthy amount of respect out there. But when things like this happen and the light is cast on it, especially, even given the fact that take Nick Strength and Power, 1.32 or 1.36 million, whichever it is, he actually came out and said, I actually like what Brad did here because it shows these internet kids that they can't just go around and, doing whatever they want and trying to, pull this stuff all the time. Well, there's light cast on it really in a light of acceptance, you know, from another very big influencer. So it continues to roll from there in no matter what way you want to slice it, a negative perspective.
Yeah.
And like you would know doing what you do, there is enough of a negative perspective on this industry, which many out there have worked very, very hard over the last number of decades to make this a professional organization, a reputable organization,
Family friendly.
reputable industry.
Yep.
Family friend.
Yeah.
You even hear Bob Ciccarello saying it on stage at the Olympia. This is a family friendly event, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, and then stuff like this happens. And sure, you could say, oh, it was a slap across the face. It was mild or whatever. It's compounding, it's compounding. It's not just this kid doing it.
No, 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 it isn't. And I think we're all accountable for our own actions. And instead of, you can't control certain situations, but you can control how you react to things. Right.
That's right.
And, I just always err on the side of caution. And, for me, words matter, and actions matter. And because, I may be doing something like this, and, I'm in front of the camera type of thing, I'm going to conduct myself a little more carefully than I would maybe if I didn't think anything was rolling, right? Or where you could be a little more cavalier, right? But if you're in the public eye to a degree, and I manage athletes that are in the public eye, right? I mean, we're always talking to our athletes about, the code of conduct, and think of the bigger picture, think long term type of thing. And I just don't think Bradley Martyn thinks long term about anything, and he's very reactive. I've seen some interviews where he's done like a lot of growth things, and he's talked a lot about personal hangups and things that he's gone through.
What's holding me back? And I think one of the biggest things, and I don't think it's holding me back in a sense, but I do know that this is one of my biggest insecurities, and it's wearing a hat all the time.
So I think there's something good in there, but it's kind of overshadowed by the false bravado. I think it's kind of subduing what is kind of in him that could kind of come out and blossom type of thing. And I think this just kind of sets him back a little bit from that personal growth that I know that he needs, and I think that he wants. So I was just kind of a little disappointed in seeing it, and I just wish it didn't happen. We should wrap it up.
Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to being back.